So I made a video last year about my cats, and it only seems fair that I should make one about my dogs. So here comes a dog video. As far as I know, my family has owned a total of 3 dogs: Justice, Sheba, and Diamond. If you've watched my previous videos, then you would have known about Justice and Sheba, the 2 golden retrievers that my sister bought over a decade ago. So I've never mentioned Diamond before, but he's the first dog we ever took care of. He was this big black, we're not really sure what he was, but we think he was a German Shepherd. One of my sisters thinks he was a part poodle because he never shed any fur. Diamond was a special dog because he was the only dog Kitty Cat ever liked. They hung out all the time and never got into any fights. He also had a habit of sneaking out of the house to take himself for a walk before coming home. But as he got older and older, his memory got worse and worse, which meant that he had a harder time finding his way back home. But his memory never failed him when he tried to get out of the house. It doesn't help that the house was under renovations at the time. My dad actually mentioned how he had gotten calls from the elementary school about Diamond wandering in. And then my dad would have to go pick up Diamond from the elementary school. Unfortunately, Diamond got out one day and we have not seen him ever since. After that, my sister bought Justice and Sheba from somebody who sold dogs for a living. She never really told me the details, but it was something about a breeder. These people actually had a technique for selling dogs. They would actually let you play with the puppies beforehand before trying to sell them to you. It worked really well on children and worked on my sister. She initially only wanted a Labrador Retriever, but she ended up buying 2 Goldens. She had a belief at the time that dogs needed a companion, so she bought a pair. Keep in mind, this was 15 years ago, before all this animal awareness and how you should do adoptions instead of buying came about. Either way, Kitty Cat was not very happy about the new additions to our family. She made that very clear during their first meeting. When we first got Justice and Sheba, they were tiny puppies, so we kept them in the bathroom for the first few days and then moved them to the patio and eventually the backyard. While we were moving the puppies, they ran into Kitty Cat. She immediately showed off her dominance and her dislike for the 2 dogs. Ever since their first encounter, the dogs have always been on a losing streak. Whenever they ran into the Kitty Cat, they would freeze and run away. This was the same even after they grew up and were about 5 times her size. I think Kitty Cat even went out of her way to actually bully the dogs. Now, Justice and Sheba were both very, very friendly animals. They were Goldens after all, but they also had the same fear that every dog in the world has. Which means that whenever it either rained or there was thunder and lightning, that they would freak out. They then tried to break into the house several times. My family got very tired of that very, very quickly, so we built them a doghouse to protect them from the elements. It didn't work. They would use a doghouse on normal evenings and such to sleep in, but once it started raining, they immediately wanted to go inside the house. They tore through the screen door, which we had to replace and upgrade. Then Justice learned how to open the screen door with his nose, so we switched over to the glass door. There was even a time where they tore through my screen window just to break into the house to get out of the rain. We later screwed on metal frames over the screen doors, and that seemed to work out pretty well. Over the years, I've realized that Justice and Sheba have no interest in interacting with other dogs. Normally when dogs first meet, they'll bark at each other and then start sniffing each other's behinds, but Justice and Sheba do not ever do that. In fact, my sister's friend once brought over their dog to hang out with Justice and Sheba, and the other dog started sniffing Justice. Justice was sitting down at the time, and the other dog bent down to sniff his behind, and Justice actually scooted over for the other dog. My brother-in-law mentioned he'd never seen any other dog do this. Another thing I've noticed is that my dogs seem to eat anything. This was way more prevalent when they were younger as well. The dogs spent quite a bit of time eating our grass, so we installed a gate to keep them out. There was a time when I brought home some bamboo and the dogs ate it. I also bought some plastic water guns this one summer, and the dogs ate those as well. There was a period of time where the dogs really enjoyed eating the leaves off of one of our trees. We had some single sofa chairs that my sister placed outside for the dogs to sit on, and they ate the seats. We replaced them, and the replacements were also eaten. One of my sister's friends brought over a giant flashlight that fell on the floor, broke, and was also eaten. We used to buy a dog treat called Mighty Bone or Meaty Bone or something, and that box fell on the floor one night, and the 2 of them ate the entire box in one sitting, threw it back up, and tried to eat it again. Whenever we needed to feed the dogs pills, my dad would actually stuff the pill inside a chunk of cheese, and they ate that right up. The only snack we ever gave them that they didn't like was when my sister decided one day to feed them celery. Just raw celery. So yeah, those are my dogs. So yeah, thanks for watching my video. Please hit the subscribe button on the bottom to get notified whenever I have a new video out there. Hit the like button if you liked the video, and leave a comment down below about what sort of video I should make next time. Bye!